Hello everyone, it's Timmy 2009, and I'm finally back with another Thomas & Friends Bluebird review. So, in my last Bluebird video, I talked about Agent Andrew's OCs, Adam, Molly, Shade, and Agent of Death. Now I do know that he has more OCs, and recently he made a DeviantArt account, and posted most of his TCR fleet members and a few other OCs he's made. Like, I do know he made a new Thomas & Friends antagonist called Lilith, who is based off of Lady. Though I'm pretty happy with these four right here. Like, I don't know if one day I'll be allowed to do more OCs in the future from him. Like, although I think it would be nice to do more OCs like his other antagonist Lilith and the rest of his TCR members and some of these Sodor Benedict squad, who I'm guessing is part of his TCR fleet from what I remember, like, from one of his videos. Like, I do know he owns most of his TCR members, though I think most of the Sodor Benedict squad members belong to Braxton, like, if I'm guessing, like, I don't know, like, I do know what his channel is, like, and I know that his main OC is named Braxton, but, oh, by the way, if you hear noises in the background, please ignore them. But anyways, back to the video. So, yeah, like, I think that's it. But I'm pretty happy with all these customs right here. Like, even if, like, I don't know if one day I'll, like, have permission to do more, but, like, I'm pretty sure I might, because, like, he did trust me to make his OCs, like, even though they're private, like, in 2020, same thing with Calvin. But anyways, like, yeah. I'm pretty thankful with these four, considering that Molly is my favorite character he's ever made. And, like, I think she might be my favorite OC out of all of them. Like, in general, I don't know. Because I do love other OCs as well. I do know that people are going to make more one day. Maybe even Agent Andrews himself. Like, I think that would be cool. But I'm already excited for this one. Because, like, today we're going to be talking about the special edition Bluebird trains. Like, these are characters, like, from pre-existing models. They just have different colors, different faces, and I'm already looking forward to this, because, like, we have so many good variants, like, from a lot of classic episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, except for this one, which we'll talk about. But yeah, there are so many, like, iconic moments in Thomas the Tank Engine that I just had to make these guys. Not only that, but I was also inspired by the Roblox game Tiny Tank Engines, which is a game created by Thomas Adventures. Still, I have to give him credit. I know, like, I got inspiration, but I still have to thank him, like, give him all the credit, because he made the Roblox game, not me, him. So if you want to play his game, go to Roblox and type in Tiny Tank Engines, and then you can, like, play it. If you want me to do a review talking about why Tiny Tank Engines is my favorite Roblox game, please tell me in the comments below. Sorry for the noise in the background. However, this isn't the only reason why I decided to make these trains. So, Bluebird Toys was an actual thing. Like, they actually did make a Thomas & Friends set. I also had the James the Red Engine version of this set. And they're basically like this little type of set where you can fold it, and they come with these little miniature trains. If you put them next to the 3D printed Bluebird trains, you can sort of see how similar they are. Like, the real ones have these, like, metal rollers on the bottom. And these rollers don't move at all. They're painted silver, and they aren't, like, the same width as, the same length as the original Bluebird roller, so these trains do fit on the tracks pretty well, but sadly you can't fit these guys on the tracks, no matter how hard you try. Which is why I decided to print these type of tracks. And yes, you can see the trains do work on them pretty well. And the sets I made are based off of the Ertl miniature line, like, that got canceled. So these are basically like a hybrid between the Bluebird miniature trains and the Ertl miniature trains. Like, yeah, I think those might be some of my favorite pieces of Thomas merchandise, but obviously Wooden Railway is my favorite. And if you want me to do a video saying why Wooden Railway is my favorite, I would like to probably do that one day. But anyways, so yeah. So today we're going to be talking about every single variant I have made on this. Now, this isn't every single, like, model. Like, if I show you in this bucket, I do have a few other trains as well. Like, I've got a few trains with different facial expressions. different colors, and I do have a couple of CGI variants as well. But that's not what we're talking about in this video. Maybe one day we'll talk about that. So, with all that being said, let's actually dive into this video. And of course, if I run out of time, I will try to talk about the other trains at some point. Maybe split the video into a few parts. But anyways, let's get this wagon train moving. So, first we have Lbsc Thomas from The Adventure Begins. Definitely one of the best Thomas movies of all time. So, The Adventure Begins is basically like a retelling of season 1 of Thomas and Friends, from Thomas Gets Tricked all the way up to Thomas and the Breakdown Train. Now, I do think it would be cool if they did more of these, adaptations in the CGI series, if they had a chance before Mattel ruined it with Big World, Big Adventures. And, of course, All Engines Go, but those are things we won't talk about. So, I actually decided to give this Lbsc Thomas a model series face, just to make him better. Now, I do have a CGI version of this face as well. If you saw in my community posts, I'm pretty sure you've all been catching up with my community posts recently. I know I haven't made a lot of videos, and I apologize, but I'm trying my best, don't worry. But anyways, back to Lbsc Thomas. So, now, unfortunately, he doesn't have, the actual Lbsc lettering or the number 70 on his side tanks. Because I really can't write this small. If you compare these to a quarter, you can see how tiny these are. If I, hold this in my hand, let me see if I can get it. If I hold this in my hand, you can see how small these guys are. They're literally the size of a quarter. But I do like the fact that he has white lining and white windows. And now this is supposed to be his whistle. I based it off of the original Bluebird Thomas. And of course he doesn't have any of the boiler stripes, because I want these to be simple as the other ones. And let's be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the red stripes on merchandise. I don't have a problem with it in the actual show, but in merchandise, it just looks weird. Though I'm sure you would probably be saying, oh, it's more accurate. Which, I understand that, and I respect your opinion, but yeah. So, yeah, he has the white lining. He's painted in a teal green, although I'm sure most of you might be questioning me in the comments saying, why does he look like he's blue? Well, because this is a teal green. I know most of you might be asking me if I could paint him dark green, but I'm not going to do that, because if I'm being honest, this looks a little bit accurate. Because, Thomas is meant to be a teal green, like Ben 10 Life said when he made his, G-scale Lbsc Thomas, which, by the way, you should check out that video. He's great at making Bluebird. No, wait, not Bluebird. He's great at making Lionel G-scale customs, and he even restored his Thomas and James. I do hope one day he'll do more customs, but that's just one thing. So yeah, I really don't know what else to say about Lbsc Thomas. I really like the fact that they gave Thomas an original color before he was painted blue. And one of my favorite moments in The Adventure Begins is literally when Thomas the Tank Engine gets painted blue. They remove all of his paints, they give him a pink undercoat, and then they paint him blue. Can we all agree that this is one of the best moments in The Adventure Begins? This is a really satisfying ASMR moment in Thomas and Friends. Let's keep that in mind. But yeah, I really love Lbsc Thomas. This is probably one of my favorites. Anyways, now while we're on the topic of Thomas the Tank Engine himself, of course, I really don't like this one. This is King Thomas from the Big World Big Adventures episode Thomas and the Monkey Palace. Oh my god. Okay, can we all agree that Big World Big Adventures is just a nightmarish fever dream, and this is basically one of those dream sequences when the trains dream of something that doesn't really happen, and they come up with these weird fantasies. It's basically like a cutaway gag from Family Guy, but only worse. But I know most people will be commenting saying, but doesn't he look so cool with his gold buffers and his gold sirens and his gold stripes? I'm sorry, Mattel, you can't fool me easily. You may have fooled a lot of kids with this merchandise, but you ain't gonna fool me. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he looks pretty cool with his gold lining, but this is a pointless thing. Mattel only does this just to make toys. That's how desperate they are. They're just, money hungry. But anyways, if you're wondering where the face came from, it's basically a Thomas Mays Thomas. I don't really need to explain much because I really do not like this. I really am getting mad right now because I do not like Big World Big Adventures. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's just move on and like... Yeah, be gone. Alright. Okay, I'm pretty calm now. Hopefully this next one will make me pretty happy. And yes, here we have Edward the Blue Engine, but not just that. This is based on one of the most iconic and classic Thomas episodes to date. This is one of my favorite episodes of all time. And that, of course, is Edward's Exploit. Yes, I really love this episode. So here he is next to the other Edward, and you can see the difference. Like, this Edward has both of his side rods. However, Edward is missing one side rod on his side. However, he does have one on this side. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my favorite Bluebird customs I've ever made. He is on par with Alfred the B-12, and that's really saying something. So, if you don't know what Edward's Exploit is, I really recommend you watch the episode before you watch this. But I'll talk about that later. So now really not much has changed about the Bluebird Edward. Like, he's relatively the same, like, he has the same Ertl miniature face. The only difference is that he's missing one of the side rods. Now, in the Railway series, I think this part was supposed to be, like, damaged and bent and dislocated and all over the place. However, I didn't think they were going to risk doing that, so... In the model series, they only, like, removed one of his side rods and didn't actually damage this part here, so... I think it's really nice of them to do, like... I honestly don't know how Edward would have pulled this off, like, if his, like... But, like, here's one of my favorite moments in Edward's Exploit. So, you remember when, like, one of his crank pins breaks and they have to take off his side rods and now he looks like an old-fashioned engine? Well, I think they actually loosened the couplings a bit so, like, they can, like... So Edward can have a better time pulling the coaches easier. So, like... And then, like, Edward, like, pushes on and, like... He still moves even without his side rod, and he still gets the passengers to the station on... Like, he was a little bit late, but he still got the train there. Like, he still got his passengers home. Edward is like a true Chad right here. Like, he's such a legend character. Like, oh my gosh, this is really one of the best episodes ever. Like, if you love Edward's Exploit, please tell me in the comments below. This has to be one of my favorites. Like, this is in my top 10 best Thomas and Friends episodes. No cap. Alright, so... Yeah, this really is one of my favorite customs I've ever made. Like, I'm pretty happy with this. Like, Edward's Exploit really is one of the most iconic Thomas and Friends episodes, and I really like how this came out. So please tell me in the comments if you really love Edward's Exploit like I do. And honestly, which Edward do you like more? Do you like this one or the Edward's Exploit Edward with the missing side rod? I think I like this more than this Edward. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, well, I think I've done that long enough. Alright, so, now let's talk about, now let's talk about Old Shape Henry, the green engine. And yes, I do have the new Shape Henry as well. So, here we have Old Shape Henry from Season 1 of Thomas and Friends. Now, there's a bit of a story behind Henry, so he has like a, Now, before I say anything, like, I basically did a repaint of Gordon the Express engine, like, if you look here. Like, he has the same body as Gordon, like, the same running board, like, they both have one dome, like, I know he's not supposed to have this wheel on the back, like this Henry, but you can see, like, a radical difference between these two, like, they both have the same tender, it's just the body that's different. Now, I think it would have been cool if we did get some Old Shape Henry merchandise, but what if I told you that there was a Bandai text version that was supposed to come out? But yeah, now they do have the same face as each other, like, the only difference is that he has, like, a bigger firebox, and, like, a square dome on the front, and, like, he still has his, like, round dome on the back. But, like, Henry is able to, like, have more, like... Now, what I'm trying to say is, my point is, like, he doesn't need Welsh coal anymore because of his new firebox. The reason why Henry kept getting sick is because he had a small firebox, and he really couldn't make that much steam, if I'm guessing, and, like, he just kept getting sick all the time. Like, I think Henry is one of those characters I relate to the most. Like, I don't know why, but maybe it's because he gets sick sometimes, and, like, that's one thing we all do sometimes. We all get sick. That's just, like, Anyways, so yeah, Henry has like a smaller firebox, but like they upgrade him to like have a bigger firebox, so he won't need special coal. Because I think that's the only thing Henry runs on. And like if you've seen most of like the show, you would know that Henry is afraid of rain. He does get sick sometimes, and I think that's it about his character. Like he does become arrogant at first, but like he learns to be more humble and kind later on when he gets his new shape. And I even mentioned that Whistles and Sneezes is one of my favorite Henry episodes of all time. Please tell me in the comments if you like that episode. I really love that. Like, still, there are a lot of iconic Thomas and Friends moments that I can't even count on my hand how many times they're great. Alright, so yeah, I think that's all I like to say about Old Shape Henry. Now, I did have to cut the video most of the parts, so I think I'm going to run out of time here, so I'll catch you up later.